Welcome back. Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room Podcast. We come to you guys after a super exciting week one. I think this is probably the most exciting week one I can remember as a football fan, man. Even in some of the games that weren't close, still exciting stuff happening. Like the Dolphins getting blew out, like it's a blowout, but like that's something that's fun to talk about. And that's something that's exciting to watch. But we just finished the Bills and Ravens game. That was a classic. That's probably one of the best regular season games of all time, especially for a week one. Bills win 41-40. The Ravens, I think, dominated this game. I mean, it's not even debatable. They dominated this game. They just end up making costly mistakes at the end of the game to lose it, which is not atypical of them. They do this quite often, actually. But before we get there, man, make sure you guys like the video, share the video, comments how your favorite team did in week one. Follow us on our social media platforms up at the top of the screen. But most likely just subscribe. It don't take that long to do. This is basically our week one reaction. We're gonna do more content after the Monday Night Football game tomorrow. It's just super late already, so we're not gonna stay here more than like 45 minutes to an hour. We're gonna talk about 4 games today, 4 of the biggest games of the day. Starting off with that Bills and Ravens, they delivered a classic in week one. I think the Bills are trailing by 15 with like 7 minutes to play.
4 minutes to play.
Yeah, 4 minutes to play. Then Josh Allen went full Superman mode. I think James Cook had a pretty big reception, got him down into scoring range, and then Josh finished it off. Then Derrick Henry fumbles, who had been killer all day. He probably had close to 200 yards on the ground. He was amazing, especially in the first half. The Bills could not stop him, and then he fumbles. The Bills capitalize, and then the Ravens essentially go like 3 and out. So amazing game. I just really want to get y'all reaction to that. Honestly, not too many questions about it. I wasn't coming here and ask are the Ravens the clear Super Bowl favorites, but then that happens. I was going to talk about the Bills' inability to stop the run, which they still have that, but they tightened up in the second half. I was going to talk about their lack of weapons, but then Keon Coleman has a career day. James Cook comes on strong in the second half. So a lot of the talking points I think that I was going to bring up, they just went away pretty quickly to end the game. So I just want your initial reaction to a classic game that we got. I'm going to start with Q as you're heavily invested to both of these teams.
Man, as you can see, I thought the game was over. 15 points with 4 minutes to go. That's not ideal. I don't know why I was kind of surprised because I am a Josh Allen fan. I do believe he's the second quarterback in the league. I don't really think that's too much of a debate, but obviously if you can make the case, I'm not gonna say whatever. We've seen him do things like this before. Go band for band with whatever quarterbacks on the other side, especially like in playoff settings and whatnot. But last 2 regular seasons, this game included, up until the last 4 minutes, Ravens have given the Bills belt. That's just how it was. Obviously, the playoff game was something a little different. That's a different atmosphere. This is Highmark Stadium. Last year in the building. I think this is their last year in the building. They're going to a new stadium next year, so it's all vibes out there. They're loud, and even with all that, Bills were still pretty much trailing the whole game. This was kind of like typical Ravens football. Big moments, big spots. Don't ever seem to like click. Like when they're on, but when things get a little bit tight, or they either get tight or they too loose and things start to happen. Derrick Henry is one of the most sure-handed dudes, and he fumbles in a crucial moment, especially obviously running the ball down. You're trying to waste the clock, get up out of here, and fumble, and that's what it was. I know going forward on 4th down in your own territory is not like good coaching. Like most coaches would not do that. As you see, they kicked it. I would have thought you couldn't stop Lamar Jackson all day, like especially with the scrambles on his legs. So you might as well just let him go out there and pick up the first down, because if he picks up that first down, game over. Even if he doesn't, clock's still running. You know what I'm saying? And they still got to Bill still have to march down and make a play. Based on what the game looked like, he probably would have made a play. T, I think you were in on Keon Coleman coming into the year. Either you will, yeah. Same thing with training camp. He had great buzz, and it looked all in all, it looked like he did well in training camp. But just like his cousin, C.D. Lamb, a lot of drops, easy ones too. Not easy ones, but like just things you expect him to get because he's a 6'4" jump ball guy. Family ties. I guess he was doing the same thing. He could have even had a bigger game than he had, but 110 and 1 touchdown ain't no slouch. Josh Palmer had a game. James Cook had a game, especially after getting paid. Shared the sugar around. Dalton Kincaid showed up early. Dawson Knox showed up late. Jackson Hall's rookie tight end showed up late too. Was some big catches. Josh Allen 420 total yards, 4 touchdowns. Almost had a pick, but almost don't count unless it's horseshoes and grenades. Great game, great finish. Best Sunday night football game we've seen in a while. I think this is a good thing for the Bills because now they get a soft schedule. The next 7 weeks is pretty much cupcake. They could go into week 9, pretty much 9-0 damn near. Ravens, we go into next week with a must-win against the Browns. And we see the Browns today. They kind of fight these division games, so who knows? I think we're going to put belt to them. We have no choice. But I think this is just I think the NFL, especially with the Ravens, every time they had a dramatic loss in the playoffs, they just happen to have to play that same team first. 2 years ago, lost to the Chiefs in dramatic fashion, played them first game of the season. Last postseason, lost to the Bills in dramatic fashion, had to play in the first game of the regular season. I don't think it's right for them, especially like coming in because like a lot of emotions be flared up. They thought they was gonna win, looked like they was gonna win and not. So I don't know. Morale was high, but I'm kind of like low on the Ravens right now because they fumbled.
Max, what was your reaction to that classic game we just saw tonight?
No, I agree with both of what you guys said. With it's a completely different scenario and situation. Obviously, with everything that unfolded in the final 5 minutes, right? I think coming into this year, we talk about the Bills with a new look team, with a new look weapons room, and everything. And I feel like that's a pretty reoccurring theme. But year in and year out, it really just seems like no matter what, like Josh Allen's going to make it work. I think that receiver room did enough. The weapons room did enough this year to get it done. I think that will continue on for a large part of the season, whether it's Shakir having a big game or Keon. Again, Josh Palmer had the catch of the game, right? Josh Palmer's the long ball to put him within field goal range. James Cook is still a very good running back. Ray Davis is a good backup. They have 2-3 tight end. Like everything Q said about their weapons room, like they came to play, but a lot of it is because of who Josh Allen is, his talent, his ability. He put 2 touchdowns in himself. Josh Allen just keeps your floor at such a high point. I think this game as a Ravens fan would be beyond frustrating, beyond challenging to watch because, again, there are mistakes towards the end of the game, but Lamar played very well. Derrick Henry played very well. Your defense made stops originally, then fell apart later. It's so many things to point to that the team looked so good and had this large lead in Buffalo, and it came crumbling down. So I think for them, obviously you're happy that this is game 1 and not game 1 of the playoffs or anything. You still have an entire season to figure this out, but it can't be anything less than beyond frustrating to see Derrick Henry have the entire Bills defense trying to take him down. And the one mistake is probably the most costly mistake of the game. Again, they got the football back. They couldn't convert a first down. In a game where it seems like every time Derrick Henry touched the football, they got 10 yards. They got stopped. But I feel for Ravens fans on that. But the Bills, Josh Allen, that team, at the end of the day, they were able to play when it counted. And I think, we're having a completely different discussion from are the Bills in trouble to who's going to take them down as maybe the top seed in the AFC after week 1. Again, super premature, but I think that this game was Chiefs-Rams vibes from years ago for sure. I think this game was definitely cinema. And again, I had to go do something else. I turned off my TV for a second. I was like, yeah, this is over. Just to realize 2 minutes later that the game's an entirely new spot. So
my main takeaway from I think what was one of the best games I ever seen was I think the Ravens are the better team. I think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. I think they have the best roster in the entire NFL, arguably. I think that if I'm a betting man today, I'm picking the Ravens to make the Super Bowl. I think all that's true. I think if they play each other 10 times, the Ravens win that game 9 times out of 10. Like, I don't think they make the mistakes they had to make to lose that game again, basically. I think it's going to be hard for the Bills in particular to stop them from running the ball. Like, we saw that throughout this entire game. It wasn't as prevalent in the second half, but it didn't matter because the Ravens were scoring. They were still scoring. They still put up points. They scored what, 13 points? Well, they only scored 13 points in the second half, I think, right?
Cool.
No, they scored 20 points in the second half. It was 20 to 13 in the first half. So I still feel pretty good about the Ravens. Like, they pretty much dominate that game throughout, and a few costly mistakes lost them the game. But they're still going to have, I think, one of the best defenses in the league. I still think they're going to have a top offense in the league. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, outside of Derrick Henry's fumble, look extremely unstoppable. Zay Flowers is coming along in year 3. He looks like a great receiver. And Lamar is still an MVP level player, as he will be. So I still think, honestly, the Ravens are the better team. I think they're the best team in the AFC. And I think they'll be probably in the Super Bowl come February, honestly, unless, Lamar struggles in the playoffs. But what's up?
Everything you said is correct. But it's like, we have the best team in the NFL until it's time to be the best team in the NFL, and then we just suddenly not the best team in the NFL. Like, it just always goes like that. And I'm not – obviously, you can put some stuff on Lamar, but, like, a lot of things be the ancillary pieces. Last year, we were seeing wide receivers drop picks, drop passes into touchdowns, picks. So you got Derrick Henry fumbling. He did fumble a couple last year. John Harbaugh, certain coaching decisions that he makes is just in crucial times is just always is conducive for losing a game that we had in the palm of our hands, especially we know we could be put in belt. This game didn't really mean anything except for the Josh Allen, Lamar, Ravens, Bills, new rivalry going on. That's all it was, bragging rights for a week or for the season, based on regular season games. But in all, I still think we should easily be in the division around next year. I don't think this means anything because our division is is pretty trashed, if you ask me.
On the Bills side of things, yes, they got the win, but I feel like they have so many clear weaknesses, and I feel like they have one of the most talented quarterbacks ever, and they haven't necessarily built around him the best. They haven't whatsoever. They're gonna struggle to stop the run for sure, like they did last year. The receiving core is obviously not the best. I think in the beginning of the game, the Ravens they sold out to stop the run, stop James Cook. They were not scared of the Bills receivers them whatsoever. Now I think Allen extended some plays, made it work, especially in crucial situations. But a lot of what I got from this was another Herculean effort from Josh Allen. That's pretty much what it was. James Cook had some really good moments in this game. He struggled at times, good moments. I think James Cook is a top 10 back in the league. But outside, and the offense line is also pretty good. It's one of the better ones in the league as well. So he has one of the better offense lines in the league. He has a really good running back, but he doesn't have a premier receiver. And the defense can't stop the run. I like Christian Benford. I like Bedford too. Like Jermaine Bedford. Am I saying that right?
It's
Bedford.
Christian Benford.
And the other one, that's also named to be the linebacker.
Oh, Terrell Bernard.
Yeah, Terrell Bernard. I like Christian Benford. I like Terrell Bernard. I like Matt Milano. I like Ed Oliver. Like they have some good pieces on defense too, but it's not like
they don't have an elite guy. Like they don't have a truly elite player.
They don't have a game changer on defense. and I think their secondary is susceptible to passing plays, and they also aren't good at stopping the run. So it's like the defense is good, the offensive piece around is good. They're not a truly like elite team in totality. It's just Josh uplifts them that much to be in these conversations.
Damn,
But like,
that's cool. What would you call that?
I mean, what I don't.
That sounds like value to me.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar does the same thing though on his end.
Let me ask you a question. Who do you think played better today, Lamar or Josh?
Josh. But I feel like it was
more valuable to their team today, Lamar or Josh?
I would say Josh. I would say Josh. I would say he slightly outperformed him without Derrick Henry going for 200 yards on the ground. Without Zay Flowers having the game he did. I mean, Keon Coleman.
Yeah, they matched that like cancel out. I just wanted to see where your head was at because I remember we had a discussion in Discord a couple days ago about this specific situation. But nevertheless, next.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you can almost like. I know Katie gonna watch this, so I don't know. It's like they almost match each other level. Like it's splitting hairs, honestly. Like,
I don't have no answer to that. I think they both played A+. And I'm not gonna use counter stats to like say who played better. I think they both played pretty much at the same level based on what their team gave up today.
Yeah, I would say Josh slightly outplayed him, and he got the win too, which matters. And I mean, again, he didn't have Derrick Henry. I mean, but Derrick Henry fumbled too, so it's like I ain't gonna lie. I would say it's even, just because Lamar would have won a game if Derrick Henry just doesn't fumble right there. So I'm gonna say it's even. But yeah, amazing game. I'm still more confident in the Ravens than I am in the Bills. I think though.
I don't think that's a crazy statement. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think the 9 out of. I don't know if I believe the 9 out of 10 times that they win, but I think they definitely win 7.
That game.
I think they win, sure, in like that exact fashion. I'm just saying, I think if they meet in the playoffs again, from what I saw today, I do believe that, like, yeah, I'd probably take the Ravens.
I don't think it's crazy to say that. I feel like both of those two teams are on a slight tier higher than the Chiefs as well. This is what I'm gonna say.
I mean, the Chiefs also lost week 1. The Chargers play well, but like the Chiefs have injuries right now, especially at the receiver position. Like there are question marks going on there. You got to kind of see that play out a little more.
Man, Chiefs.
All right, let's move on. The Packers dominate the Lions in Micah Parsons' debut. I think this was a very entertaining game too.
1 of 13, 1 of 13 down for Q. He's got 12 more games to tick off.
Hey man, this was a great game. Q picked the Packers to win the division before they traded for Micah. He reaffirmed his stance after they traded for Micah. Max, you say that the offense you have some questions about. Did they answer those questions today? Let me actually ask you the question I have written down here. Yep. Max, what did the Packers prove in their win versus the Lions in week 1?
This is gonna sound like bad, I feel like, but like I need to see more because we have seen this at times last year. Jordan Love and that offense was firing. And if they can bring that offense on a week-to-week basis throughout the rest of the season, the Packers are extremely threatening in the NFC. And I think they should be put definitely in the ranks of NFC contenders for sure. That offense, I feel like for the first half especially, receivers were wide open. They were schemed. Receivers were wide open. The degree of difficulty in some of the passes were not crazy, but Jordan Love was confident in the pocket. The O-line was giving him time, and people were wide open. So that combination of everything on a pretty solid Lions defense, like I give them all the credit in the world. They were very good today, but that needs to continue. And in order for me to think differently of that, because again, we've seen Jordan Love play like this kind of level at times throughout the regular season, the playoffs, whatever, but it's not consistent. And I think that if Jordan Love can keep up this consistent play, he can easily throw himself into staying in that top 10 conversation instead of floating around with other guys in this 10 to 15 kind of conversation. The way Jordan Love played today, if you continue to do that, again, we talk about Josh Allen kind of getting the short end of the stick. Oh, what kind of weapons does he have? Whatever. I don't think that anyone's like looking at this Green Bay weapons room still like it's very impressive. Golden had a few catches today. Jaden Reed had a good game today. Tucker Kraft had a touchdown. Josh Jacobs got some groundwork. Jordan Love is an extremely talented quarterback, but this just needs to progress because the defense today was A1. The defense was throwing all sorts of fits at Detroit. Detroit did not seem to get anything done. The score was a lot closer than what it really felt like throughout the game. That Detroit offense was not moving. So I think that is definitely something that throughout the season they need to figure out clearly. But this obviously raises the question of the Ben Johnson, right? How much they're missing Ben Johnson and Frank Ragnow because the timing wasn't great either. So they'll figure it out. They'll keep it going. I think I'm not that nervous about it. But on Green Bay side, like this game, I think is huge for them. They just can't fall back to the mean of what they were in the past few years. Again, coaching staff is the same. This team, this roster, a lot of the stuff looks very, very similar to years past. It just needs to be consistent and continue. And that is when I would start to look at them as a more serious contender. But lucky for them, they have a gauntlet in front of them. They can prove whoever they want. They can prove to, not that they need to prove anything to me, but you can prove it to whoever that you're beating the good teams and you are getting good wins that come playoff time, you're ready and you're poised. Because, again, Jordan Love beat the Cowboys, right, in the playoffs a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's obviously the biggest game of his career so far, right? This game right here, I think, is maybe a top 5, top 3, top 5. Like, I think as far as what it means, I think this game was very, very important for the culture of their season. I agree, but I think for what their expectations are this season, to hold their reigning champs of your division to, I'm going to call it 6 points because that Isaac Hess touchdown out of the game, like kind of garbage time at that point in time. Like this was a big game, in my opinion, for Green Bay. This is a culture setter for your season. And I think that overall, like, again, if they can continue to play like this, more power to them. They are definitely a contender. But I'm just saying, in years past, it can fluctuate.
I would say 2 things. First of all, I think, Max, you're over-indexing on the inconsistency of their offense last year. I feel like that was mostly in the passing game. They had one of the top rushing attacks in the league with Josh Jacobs, and they finished last year as a top 10, 11 offense in the league. And that was with their wide receivers being it's just bad in terms of catching the ball. They let the league in drops last year. And Jordan Love, biggest problem last year, I think, was accuracy and decision making. He turned the ball over too much.
While dealing with injury.
Yeah.
2 big issues, though, and especially come the end of the game, like what we saw today, that is when those matter the most, right? So it's like you could play a great game throughout the entire season, but if you have issues with decision making, that crunch time moment is going to scare. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
I also agree that this was a big game for them in terms of setting the tone for the season. I just think it was like they dominated what I think is a top 3 team in the NFC. Like I think the Lions are near that contender tier as well, just based off of the roster that they have. Now they clearly need to iron out some things because again they just lost 2 coordinators, and that was evident in their offensive play and their defensive play against the Packers. I don't think they got a lot of pressure whatsoever. Jordan Love had a lot of time to sit back in the pocket and go through his progressions and scan the field and make plays, which he did. I think the box score does him a disservice to the actual level of play he was at today. But overall about the Packers, though, I feel like the Packers are the biggest threat to the Eagles right now in NFC. They have one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league, who I think is a top 10 player. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. They have an elite play caller. They have a top 10 running back in Josh Jacobs and a good running game overall. They have a good offensive line. And their defense was pretty good last year, despite not having a pass rush whatsoever. Now you add Micah Parsons, one of the best pass rushers in the entire NFL, who is a game changer, who is not only going to create havoc himself, but he also is going to open up lanes for someone like Rashawn Gary as well, which we saw that today. Then you have Xavier McKinney in the secondary. And now I'm not a big fan of the corners, but they're decent. Like they have a really, really good roster, I would say. It's not great, but a good roster and excellent coaching. And so when you have that and a game changer in Micah Parsons and a supremely talented quarterback in Jordan Love, I think what they proved in week 1 was that they're the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. From what I saw from the game, they dominated the trenches on both sides. They got pressure on Jared Goff on multiple occasions. He got hit 9 times. Micah Parsons was playing situational football and coming in on a few downs, easy drive, and making an impact every single time he touched the field. I think he won the Penei Sewell matchup today. Rashawn Gary had a few good plays as well. I
thought Rashawn Gary was actually very good. I thought Rashawn Gary had some very, very bright moments.
Josh Jacobs got it going. Their receivers look pretty good. Wicks look good. Reed look good. Golden had some nice plays. And I think that Jordan Love was able to sit in the pocket and go through his progressions, make some really high-level throws. A few that was dropped, it would have made his stat line look even better. As far as the Lions, again, like I said earlier, they need to iron out a few things. They weren't able to pressure Jordan Love on defense, and their secondary is looking very weak. I think Terrion Arnold has the potential to be good. Is he good right now? No. I think he was good last year. No. DJ Reed has a few nice plays, but a few plays he got cooked. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was like 2 big plays. He got cooked. But yeah, the defense looked like they were lost at times. It was great play calling from Matt LaFleur. Offensively, they were not able to establish a running game at all, really, with Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery. And also, Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't effective in the passing game. He had 10 catches for 31 yards. Not ideal at all. So I think the Lions will be fine because of the talent they have on the roster. But I will be monitoring what Jared Goff looks like this year without an elite play caller. That's all he has had in his career when he's played. It's a stat.
We're gonna stop that, and not because it's not true, but because that lacks a lot of context.
I'm not even gonna bring up
Jared Goff rookie year. Jared Goff rookie year. You toss that. You throw that out the door.
Lions years though. Lions.
Huh? Yeah, Lions year. He's had Ben Johnson every single year except for half of the first year. Ben Johnson was there. He just wasn't the OC.
How did he play in that half of the first year?
The same way they played the second half with Ben Johnson, a 3-win football team.
No, but he played better with Ben Johnson as soon as he started calling plays. I'm saying before he started calling plays, he wasn't that good. I think
he was okay. He wasn't horrible. He was just okay.
I didn't say he was horrible. He just wasn't.
Them losing games, and him playing bad is not like correlated. Regardless, I said this Lions team is probably going to mirror 2023 Eagles. Very good roster, questionable coordinators, probably still win games and probably be a first round exit. I was of the belief that, and I still believe it's true. Not gonna say this game was evident of that, but the roster of the Lions and the Packers, the only real edge between the rosters would be Penei Sewell against the whole O-line, but I'll take the whole Packers O-line as of right now due to injury and retirement, and wide receiver 1. And
you're not taking the weapons room as a whole.
If I break it down, tight end for tight end, I think they're even.
I'm saying tight ends, running backs, receivers. You're not taking the lines over the Packers.
No, because Amon-Ra's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. That's why I said wide receiver 1. Everything after that, I think it's pretty fluid. And Jahmyr Gibbs, you could say he's better than Josh Jacobs. I'm not going to argue. Obviously,
and you also get Monty too, though. That's I get. I'm just more.
That don't mean much to me. Josh Jacobs is a workhorse. He doesn't have to split carry because he's a bigger, stronger back. That's what he's built to do.
Understand?
Jahmyr Gibbs is like the 4th best running back. Josh Jacobs is like 7th.
I like the versatility.
Don't mean anything.
So
you know what I'm saying? Corners.
Where was their running game ranked last year in totality? When you, I think I would assume
Detroit was probably top 5. Packers were probably like 4.
I'm looking right now. The Lions were 5 and the Packers were 13th.
Yes, I'm saying. But now it's a little different because now you don't get those same lanes. You don't get that same play calling. Things are a little different. So the playing field is a lot more even now. And now you got real game changers. Like I said, I think I said it before. I think they have one of the best, or probably a top 5 edge duo in the league between Michael Parsons and Rashawn Gary. I think that many clears anything not named Houston. Like I can match it up with anything not named Houston, and I think they'll be fine. Very good game. Already off to a good start. Like they only won one division game last year. Check. They already on pace to do better than that. I think they're gonna still probably win 70% of their non-division games. That puts them at like 8 wins. Give them a win against the Bears because how they looked yesterday, they definitely could beat the Bears. I don't have no question about that. We'll see what they look like against Minnie. And I think going into the next game with the Lions, I think they got to feel good. I don't think they're going to be worse. The Packers are going to be a worse team come the end of the season. I think they're just going to get better. And Jordan Love, he usually starts seasons either slow or injured. Let's see what he look like. Steady progression. You're not like really going through anything. I think this is probably just a year for them to put it together and get back to the top of the division. I liked what I seen. Things could get cleaned up, but that's just a Jordan Love thing. That's not really a Packers thing. All in all, I just trust the organization.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. They've had three franchise quarterbacks in the last 25 years, and I don't think any other organization could really say that in the last 25.
Not 25, but they've had four. They pretty much have 4 starting quarterbacks till past 50, if you count old as Bart Starr. But you know what I'm saying.
I don't necessarily know if anyone else can say that. So they definitely deserve the trust. They're not like the richest team ever, but they got a tradition and they got a process and they stick by it. So now they're proving to make big splashes with like a Michael Parsons trade. So even adapting to the times that we're in. Jaden, do you have anything to say about the Packers dominating the Lions and Michael Parsons' debut?
No,
I guess not.
I was just thinking about this. I was thinking, what if Micah went to Buffalo in the same light?
The report came out that they called about him. They called about Micah.
Yeah, it would have been like, again, I think it's just a better opportunity, but that would be a team also obviously who needs that edge rusher. But I just thought about that during the game, like similar places to Green Bay, Buffalo. But
for Trey Hendrickson first.
They did.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers had 143 yards.
He was off. Like how many
I thought he was gonna get 200, bro. I ain't gonna lie. What did Derrick Henry get 200?
No, he had 169 yards. People are blaming John Harbaugh for punting the ball and not going for it. But anyway, that's easy. No, yeah, we gave our thoughts on that. Do you have any thoughts on the Packers? Huh?
I said, Rich, you already talked about the.
Yeah, that was the first game we talked about.
I didn't see this game in totality. I saw like in small parts, so I can't really tell you. But I did not think the Packers were like. It sounded like the offense was looking mad good. So I don't know.
I mean,
is it fair to say? Is it fair to say the offense cooled off in the second half? But were they actually really trying that much? I mean, the game was just never close for me.
I'm not going to say they weren't trying, bro.
Like,
I like the pass. I'm not going to say they weren't trying.
Like, obviously, I think they had – how many did they score in the second half? They get 2 field goals?
They just started doing anything.
They scored 10.
They scored – okay, they get a touchdown. Yeah, Jacobs punched it in. You're right.
All right, next game. I know you watched this one, James. Steelers win shootout versus Jets. So we'll start with you. My question is, I have 2 questions for them for both teams or whatever.
Did the Bears make a mistake?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Every time I turn on a Justin Fields game, I do tune in to hate on him. I don't like the dude. I mean, he really came into my franchise. I thought he was gonna turn it around, and he didn't. And I wish him much failure. I was gonna say much success.
That's nuts. That's
no. Respectfully. No. Can I get into my whole spiel, bro? Please. But I do have to respect him. He looked really good on the ground, through the air. He made some great plays through the air. Made some great plays with his legs. I mean, what can I say? They look fine. What were you gonna say, Latif?
I was going to ask you. I'm leading you there. I'm leading to the water. I have curated questions, sir. Respect my process. I have two questions for you. One, you can answer both of these. Was it well? This was a vintage Aaron Rodgers performance, but has vintage Aaron Rodgers returned, or is this a flash in the pan versus old team? Like, did he get some motivation against the Jets? And also, can Justin Fields turn his career around in New York? That's my two questions for you for this game.
I mean, Rodgers looked really good. I mean, but we've seen him last season have some moments. What was the game where you were, for lack of better terms, getting bricked up? Getting bricked up.
A whole bunch of other better terms, and then I guess.
What game was it where you were getting mad?
He had nothing close to this game last year.
No, that's true. But I mean, I like it was definitely some motivation, as you seen in the presser. Like, he wanted to beat everybody in that organization, so it was definitely some motivation for that performance. But I mean, I don't know. We just have to see how the season goes. This is the first game. You can't be too overreactive, but he did look really good. Going with Justin Fields, to your question with Justin Fields, I mean, it could be a turnaround. He's still young. That Garrett Wilson Ohio State connection looked real.
Clicked.
Steelers defense was not great, so I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's a lot of money getting put into that Steelers defense, and they didn't look amazing. But Justin Fields looked good, man. I don't know what to say further than that. I don't know.
I think it was kind of hard for me to take something away from this game. It's like, when I came into this game, I expected it to be like a 10-7 type of game where somebody like hits a game-winning field goal, which did happen. But I thought it was gonna be a low-scoring game because I thought more highly of both of these defenses, and that's not really what happened today. I mean, what?
You didn't think highly of the Steelers defense?
Well, I'm talking about like.
You didn't. You put.
I'm saying like what's the word I'm trying to use?
Compared to what the Jets offense would look like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
I expect them to perform better against the Jets offense. Yeah, like I don't think that good, and they validate that thought today. But I didn't expect a shootout in this game. So I don't necessarily know what to take from it. I'll probably like this won't be one of the games where I have an overreaction, because the overreactions I do tomorrow are going to be stuff that I actually kind of like believe. Like, that's gonna
you said what?
I said the overreactions I do tomorrow will have like I believe some of those. Like, I actually believe them.
Oh, you're talking about the Bears?
No, bro.
He hasn't seen the Bears play football, bro. He has not seen the Bears play football.
Bro. Man, character syndrome. Anyways, I'll go next because I mean, Aaron Rodgers and my history with the Jets. I'll go next. I think Aaron Rodgers in this game, he was a lot more poised. He played on time. He hung in the pocket. He went through his progressions, and his arm looked lively. Like, it looked like a vintage Aaron Rodgers game. And they needed him to be great because their running game was not good. Their defense was awful. And they needed him to will them to a win, which he did. He made a ton of plays to get them over the hump. Now, I don't know if he can keep this up for the rest of the season. I'm not expecting that from him, but he may not have to if the running game can look better. Jaylen Warren did not look good today. Caleb Johnson, did he play? He did.
He was bad.
Yeah, he didn't look good today. But yeah, I mean, I was gonna say the Jets are gonna miss the playoffs. Actually, I do think the Jets are gonna miss the playoffs still. Like, even though they won this game, I'm sorry, not the Jets. I think the Steelers are going to miss the playoffs. maybe that would be my overreaction. Even though I already said that before the season started. But to be in a dogfight with the Jets is like, come on, dog. Like, unless we are sleeping on the Jets, you should not be in a dogfight with the Jets. I don't think that bodes well for your season, to be honest. But who knows? I'm not high on their defense because I think they have so many old players. I think TJ Watt took a step back this year. He had last year he had a few plays. He had like game-changing plays in this game, obviously. Cam Hayward. They had 182 yards on the ground, so they were getting gashed in the running game. Justin Fields looked amazing. He had a lot of time to throw the ball, to go through his progressions, and he did that today. I don't know if Justin Fields can turn his career around in New York, but that was a hell of a good start. He looks more polished as a passer. He looked like he was doing better going through his reads, and you know how he always used a bill in the pocket before he needed to run. He didn't do that today, and maybe that was today's detriment because actually that last play I thought he should have ran instead of throwing it to Garrett Wilson, but Garrett Wilson should have caught that. But his connection with Garrett Wilson looks potent, so that's good. And he has a chance to like rebuild his career a little bit in New York, and that was definitely a good start to do it. Both defenses look bad, but at least Justin Fields looked more. He looked competent today. That was probably that might have been like. Does Justin Fields have many games better than that? That's a top 5 game in his career for sure. Being generous, that's probably close to like top 3, especially against what we think that the Steelers defense is. Like he had other games against bad defenses, but that. His ability to like actually stay in the pocket, make progressions, use his legs timely. That was pretty good. He had a really good ball to Garrett Wilson for that touchdown. Made some special plays today. Max, Justin Fields was previously your quarterback a few years ago. You wanted to trade the pick for assets and draft 2 players or something like that and get other assets at one point in your life. You've been reformed from that line of thinking. But what do you think of Justin Fields in his debut with the Jets?
I love seeing, and I'm gonna say vintage, but like it's vintage. But no, I love seeing like college Justin Fields come out. I thought that game was super entertaining. I came into that one. I wanted to watch it, not because I think either team is necessarily that good. I just thought there was a lot of great storylines in the matchup, and I thought the game would be close. So I'm kind of with Latif. I didn't think it was. I thought the defenses were both going to be more comparable as opposed to the offenses. I thought points would be put up, but I didn't think it was going to be, I guess, as high scoring as it was. I thought it'd be a mid-20s game, but still a shootout nonetheless. But very entertaining game. Both these teams, in my opinion, are not serious in the slightest. It was just a very fun game to watch with good storylines going into it. It's a great week 1 game, in my opinion. So they schedule it super, super well. But on both halves, I loved the last play of the game. They were talking. There was shit talking the entire game, especially by Garrett Wilson and Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey popping him at the end, break up. That was a great ball on line move. I love that. That was hilarious. But seeing Justin Fields out there, his little fake handoff, like in the end around to the right, like those are just plays that I miss, and I wish he would. Huh?
Get some flashbacks.
I just wish that he would do it more often or somehow, but then he makes a bad ball. Huh?
You wish Caleb would do that more often?
I just want to see Caleb with this offense. I think he could with this offense. So we'll see. Hopefully that's him with the Ben Johnson offense. But no, nonetheless, I mean, Aaron Glenn, I think, coached well. That was better than I thought the Jets were going to play. So I do give flowers to them. Tomlin obviously brings his guys out the same way every year, always ready to play. But that game was very entertaining. I think the Jets, I guess I struggle with, are the Jets better than I thought or the Steelers worse than I thought? Like, where does that fall on the totem pole? But at the end of the day, I don't have either team making the playoffs still. So I think it's just a competition of one team was better than the other. I don't know which level they're on, but I don't think either one are serious contenders.
Well, yeah, not contenders for sure. Not no.
Sorry,
for me,
playoff contenders though.
Yeah, for me, this game was just a game full of anomalies. I don't think the Jets defense is that bad. Also, I don't think the Steelers offense is that good. I advocated for this team because I do believe they're going to make the playoffs. But that's based off a lot of factors that outside of just like decent roster, defense, Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, whatever the case may be. Also think Justin Fields probably never going to play like that again. I don't think he resurged his career there. I think he's like a stopgap, which is cool. I did think he made some strides as a player, like the first 6 games in Pittsburgh, plus this one game right here. It kind of seems like he's trending in a good direction, which he very well may be. Who am I to root against him? I'm not rooting against him. I'm just following the trend of what like I've seen more of the bad Justin Fields than the good. For the Steelers, I don't think they should. Like I'm saying, Justin Fields, I don't think he's that good. So I don't think he should have been able to put up 32 points on this Steelers defense. And yeah, the Steelers defense is old, but they were old last year. They were old the year before, and they were old the year before that. It was just always an old defense. So it's like if we're gonna root for their downfall, eventually, like the more times you say no, eventually that's going to be the answer. It's like if you pick the Chiefs, the more you pick the Chiefs not to make the Super Bowl, eventually they're not going to make the Super Bowl, and then you're going to be right. But I can't bank on that. I'd just rather go with what I know until they not. And this is a cool win. Not rivalry, but like some revenge, comeuppance, something on like both sides for them to play for. DK Metcalf, I think, had a good game. Came up with a lucky catch. Other than that, he was still doing other things. Like he was still getting down the field, but he also was involved in the screen game. He played played in the screen, did okay blocking. He was doing things. Aaron Rodgers was looking for him. Aaron Rodgers looked for Calvin Austin. So he was throwing the ball around there. Obviously, he's not mobile. He's very much a statue now. As you can see, he got 4 sacks. Usually, he'd be able to avoid those. But he was still arm talent, still the same thing. Like I said before, like last year, he's gonna be able to throw the ball like that until he's like 60 years old. It's not gonna change. It's just whether he can play NFL football. This game just showed his age a little bit, but still showed what he can do with the arm. Like you heard Tom Brady say a couple days ago, like that's probably the greatest throw of the football we ever seen. Sans Patrick Mahomes, obviously, but I don't think we could take anything away from this game. Let's get to like week 4, week 5. We could have a real pulse of what both of these teams going to be.
All right, let's move on to the last game. Daniel Jones torches the Dolphins in his coach debut. This is the most surprising game of the day of the day. This is the most surprising game of the day, game of the week. Really surprising outcome. But they were up 30-0 midway through the fourth quarter. So I'll start with Max. Did this game from Daniel Jones prove that Shane Steichen made the right decision to start him?
I will say yes. I think yes. I think in this situation, I think what Daniel Jones did today is not something that AR, I think, would have been maybe ready to do. I think AR is definitely talented and able to do that. But from what we've seen in the past, I think that it would have maybe had some growing pains with it. I might already be able to. This team is just so weird to me. I think it was definitely a chance the Colts won this game. But the fashion they did, it's the same thing with the Steelers and Jets. I don't know if it's because the Colts are good or if the Dolphins are just that bad. But I really do think it's that the Dolphins are that bad. I think Miami showed that they are really just there's nothing going for them. The high-powered offense that they thought they were running is not good. We knew their defense was bad. Mike McDaniel is just maybe not the head coach we all thought he was. And I really think this team is just not good. The Colts have always had a solid running attack. Obviously, they're at home. They're not good in week ones, right? But I think that this team just could control the trenches and dominate a bad Miami defense. Jonathan Taylor never found the end zone, which shocked me. Daniel Jones had his 2 rushing touchdowns. They got Michael Pittman in for 1. But like from the get-go, this game was over. There was no threat for Miami in the slightest. I think that Shane Steichen going through the rest of the year, I still think this Colts team is mid. Sorry, I'm not like super hyped up on them as far as, especially from what I saw from other teams in their division. I think this Colts team is still towards the bottom, but it's a good win nonetheless. I think that they handled business how they did with a inferior opponent at home. And like, again, they didn't let him hang around. They put him out, ran the clock out, and ended it. Daniel Jones had some actual great throws as well throughout the game. It wasn't just running and trying to give him easy passes. Daniel Jones looked like he could throw the football. So very interesting game, I think. I will be very curious watching the Colts going forward, mainly to see if this is a fluke or I guess what's take away from it. But nonetheless, very surprised from how this Colts team came out today.
Want to go, Latif?
Yeah, Dolphins are bad. They're bad. They're gonna be bad this year. They should look to trade Tyreek Hill while he still has value. I don't know what they're gonna do about that Tua contract. I never liked it when they signed it. I think teams bend over for quarterbacks way too much, and they think they can replace them, which it is hard to replace a good quarterback, but Tua isn't consistently available. nor is he good enough when it actually matters. Down the stretch of the season, he's not good enough. In the playoffs, he's not good enough. So it made no sense to give him that money. They should not have paid him top of the market money. That was dumb. This team has reached its ceiling. It reached its ceiling a while ago. They play way too soft. Like they play a soft brand of football. They get dominated in the trenches on both sides, which they did today. They have the worst cornerback room in NFL by a lot. If they can't get home with the defensive line, their cornerbacks are going to give up 300 yards passing. And they had Daniel Jones looking like Josh Allen today. They literally did. He was able to sit back in the pocket, game manage, go through his progressions, and make easy throws, layups for touchdowns. This team is not getting better anytime soon. And even if they do improve this year, it's not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Like they've reached a clear ceiling. So they might as well trade Tyreek Hill while they can. They have to see what's the easiest way to get rid of Tua. And Mike McDaniel is a good offensive coordinator. He is not a good head coach. He needs to get fired. That's the bottom line. You could say it's a week one overreaction, but I think we've seen enough over the last 2 years. This isn't a week one overreaction because it's something we've seen over year after year after year. So that's pretty much it from the Dolphins. The Colts. This is why Shane Steichen started Daniel Jones. He knows that. Well, he thinks that he can game manage, not make mistakes, take care of the ball, make easy reads. And Anthony Richardson can't do that. He can't make the easy reads. He can't stay healthy. His pocket presence is awful. His pre-snap play is awful. His accuracy is awful. So Daniel Jones isn't a good quarterback either, but he can do the simple things. He can do that. Like, for sure. He's a backup quarterback. And Shane Steichen has been able to be competent with backup quarterbacks. He is now 18-17 in his tenure with the Colts. He has a job on the line. He can't take a risk on Anthony Richardson. And he took a risk on Daniel Jones, and that is paying off so far in the season. I think the defense played really well. They were scrappy. They have Lou Anarumo now from the Bengals. They got the guy to Tua. They created turnovers. On offense, Jonathan Taylor played well. Michael Pittman played well. Alec Pierce played well. So all good showing from them, a dominant showing from them in week one. That's pretty much all I got to say. Q, talk to me.
I covered the Miami situation. Like I said, I think Miami's going to be trash. I don't think this was the game. Like, it just came earlier than I expected. I didn't think they were going to be this bad week one. I'm mostly focused on the Colts. And it's like, yeah, we could put it with a grain of salt because it was Miami and everybody thinks Miami's supposed to be bad, but people think Daniel Jones is garbage. I was always of the belief of the Colts. They've always had like a very good roster. Like they've always had a very good roster. They win 8 games a season because they have a very good roster. Insert any quarterback you print outside of the Matt Ryan year, but that wasn't Shane Steichen. You know what I'm saying? That was Frank Reich. Even then, matter of fact, they fired Frank Reich and had Jeff Saturday. So like, but Shane Steichen, he's pretty, put up pretty much a good team. Lou Anarumo was a great hire. They sold him in Cincinnati. They scapegoated him for the defense, even though they didn't have no talent on the defense. He has a lot more talent this year. They actually went out and fixed this, like added to the secondary, got a good safety, Cam Bynum, got Chardavius Ward from the Niners, who's a cornerback one, which the Indianapolis Colts needed, along with Kenny Moore in the slot. So I think their secondary situation got solved in the offseason. Decent D-line, very good D-tackle duo. I think they're just a very good roster, talented wide receiver room. I also got a stud tight end. Tyler Warren had 76 yards this game, had 40 early on. Like he made his mark. Daniel Jones, whatever you want to say about him, Daniel Jones has always been better than Gardner Minshew until somehow this offseason people thought Gardner Minshew was better than. If Dable could do it, Shane Steichen could do it, in my opinion. That's all they got to do pretty much. He's probably not going to have a bunch of these type of games, but you could lean on Jonathan Taylor some more. You could lean on that defense some more. Juan Arumo has made it tough for Patrick Mahomes. He's made it tough for Josh Allen. He knows how to trick the quarterback, put some stunts out there, some blitzes, change it up, make different looks, and that's what he did today. Shane Steichen, he knows how to work with those mobile quarterbacks. He's worked with Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts. Obviously now Daniel Jones worked with Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson just is not a good quarterback, not a good football player right now. He made the right decision to save his job. They're probably going to win 8-9 games. I was never in the belief that they were going to win 3-4 games, how some people thought they were going to be like worst team in the league. That's not a shot at Teef. I don't remember him saying that. But
it was me. I said they'd be low. I said they'd be low.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're going to win 3 games, 4 games. Look at the roster. Look at the roster and the coaching. You could clearly see that's just not going to happen. Like, they're a good team that's really just a quarterback away from really being a perennial kind of playoff team. Maybe not a Super Bowl caliber team, but definitely a team that could consistently make the playoffs, especially in that division. And yeah, the Jags looked good, but I think that was more of Bryce Young being trash. And the Texans are the Texans. Like I've said, the Texans ain't never really win the division handily. The division is up for grabs. I
agree.
Those 3 teams can win it. And Cam Ward and the Titans were with Denver, who some people think Denver could win the division and damn near go to the Super Bowl. Bo Nix was him and Cam Ward were basically playing the same level of today. Like all these teams, the division is not that good for any team to not think that they can actually win the division. So I think it's a good start for them. They got some momentum. I don't know what the rest of their schedule look like in the immediate future, but as of right now, Shane Steichen made the right call. Well, he made the right call regardless, but definitely he's going to get his flowers for making this call.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode 151. It's super late. We recorded right after the Bills game. Max got to go to class in the morning, so it's 12 o'clock damn near here. You made it this far. Thank you guys for supporting us, and we'll be back tomorrow. Well, you'll see it on Tuesday with a lot more NFL content, and then, season kicking off really well. I went 10 for 10 on – well, no, I did not. I kind of did. I went 9 for 10 on picks, but I cashed out before the Ravens lost. So, yes, sir. Made $380 today. Could have made $14,380, but hey, we can't cover for your milk. So we back to watching NFL on Thursday. We back to betting. Let's scam Vegas. Let's get this money. Love y'all. We out, man.